guys, my name is Amanda with Sunsmith Farms, and I wanted to update you guys on the chicken processing. We did process the birds, and I'm going to follow this clip with the video of like different clips of us processing. I did take some videos of like different things I did with the chicken, little bits of videos. I didn't get a ton because I was really tired. It was a long weekend and I was exhausted, and I forgot to video the intro clip to all the videos. So that's what this is. So after this little intro, I will be showing you guys the full processing. The only thing I don't show is actually ing the chicken. I put a little sticker over that because I don't want YouTube to get me in trouble for that. So I'm not going to show that part, but everything else I will show you guys. I am not the fastest, not the cleanest, not the most experienced. Like I said, this was my first time doing this, but I feel like we did a pretty good job. We processed all 28 chickens in about 5 hours, I think. That did not include like putting them up. So the putting up process I did over the next couple of days following actually butchering them. And we let them stay on ice, and I put up a few each day until I had them all put up. We froze 14 chickens whole, and then I parted out the other 14. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch the video, and then at the end I will go over the breakdown of what all we got out of those chickens. I want to thank you guys for being here. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, please do that. It really helps us out, and we have a big goal of reaching at least 1,000 followers by the end of the year. So we would greatly appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button, and I will let you guys continue on and see all of the chicken butchering. We have our water getting to a simmer so we can get all of the feathers off the birds. And then over here we have our table. This is going to be our foot bucket. We're going to have 2 buckets for all of our guts and everything. We plan on keeping the hearts and the livers, and then we borrowed this really nice plucker from a friend of ours. And then this is going to be our ice bath. So I still have to go grab the ice from in the house, but this will be the ice bath where they sit, and once they have came down to about 40 degrees internal temperature, we'll go ahead and part them out and bag them. So they'll just sit in here for a few hours. And yeah, that is pretty much our setup. There we go. Okay, so this, holding them upside down, all their blood flows into their head, and that causes them to relax. Alright, now that he's in here, we are gonna find a good spot on the neck. You definitely want to get those veins. So this is editing Amanda here to say that you're supposed to actually get the vein in their neck, and I am really bad at that. I have some friends that are going to show me how to do that next time. I ended up actually just taking the entire head off each time because at least I knew that they weren't suffering. I didn't want to keep trying to do the vein and missing and like causing them any pain. So you can see him moving. He has no head, so he cannot feel anything. He is just, these are just nerves. I just wanted to clarify that. I just need a spot for this. That and I can sit right there. So we're gonna let him bleed for a couple of minutes, and then we will start processing him. Going to wait on some more of that blood, and then we're going to go over to the water and scald him so that his feathers come off really easy. Then he'll go into the plucker. We're waiting for the wing feathers to come out real easy. that's him. It's coming from over. Go double check. All right, so now we are going to put him in the plucker. All right, turn the water off. All right, so we're gonna bend this back. Cut right here. We don't want to cut through the bone. And you can see it all just releases. And then this is some cartilage we cut through. So all of the feathers that are left, normally the plucker was doing a better job, but I didn't leave this one in long enough. So I'm going to actually pluck these when I go inside. Alright, their crop is full. We had a lot of issues today, which meant I had to feed them. Normally you would start in the morning and you would have them hungry so that their crop isn't full, because that's really in the way. So you're going to cut. You're going to open this slit and pull the crop and the trachea loose and away from all of the skin, because when you go to like gut it and clean it from the other side, it helps to be able to easily pull everything out. Right, so this is full of food. As you can see, we do not want to cut that open because it's really gross to me.
Not to everybody.
I think it's disgusting. So
I do too.
We're going to pull and try to get it kind of detached from all the skin. We're going to cut that. And just get it kind of loose in here. This is your windpipe. You want that loose so you can open it up from the inside. This is the side that attaches to the head and the mouth that comes into the crop, so you want to be careful with that because food will come out of it. Now we're going to flip it over and pull the skin back on the neck. There are people who do this much prettier, but you know, I'm still getting the job done, so it's okay. We're going to start cutting. We don't want to cut through bone, so we're just going to start kind of snapping. Cut. Make sure we're not cutting through bone or our fingers. And then we have a bowl for all of our necks.
Can I show them the bowl?
No, not right now. We're going to flip it over. Here's the butt. We're going to go right above the butt. Some people cut the oil gland off. We're taking the whole tail off, so we're not going to worry about it. The oil gland is on the top of the tail. And I've seen people do gutting like really clean like. I have not gotten that down. So mine ends up being a little bit of a mess. That's okay.
What is a oil gland?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it produces oil, but also like a smell. This right here is the gallbladder, and you do not want to bust that. It's like, it's okay if you tear up some of the other stuff. That one is really important not to bust. It has some bad, yucky stuff in there. Alright, this right here is the gizzard. It is connected on the other side. One side connects to the butt and one side connects to the crop up here. And because our crop is full, normally you would just pull the crop through, but it's full. So I have to find that tube inside that connects and kind of, I like pinch the food to either end So I have a nice spot, like a section like this with nothing in it, and I'll cut it as close to this side as possible and then quickly pull the crop out. So this tube right here, can you see that?
Hold on.
No, you don't have to zoom, just move the camera. That tube right there, I've pulled the food all back. So see, kind of pinched it off. Now I'm gonna quickly pull it out on that side and throw that in our bucket. Here is the esophagus and the heart.
Heart nose.
And then the lungs are on the rib cage, and you kind of really have to feel for those. They're not poking up, so you have to like scrape along the ribs.
It doesn't feel good, huh?
And there's your lungs. And then that's a kidney. And I try to get it as clean as possible.
Two kidneys.
But I'm also going to be cleaning it in the house. Now, we've gotten just about everything from the inside out. So I'm going to, this is a bone here and here. Here's the butthole. I'm going to cut a slit without cutting any tubes or anything. My knife's starting to get dull.
You have 3 other ones.
I know. Now poop might come out of the butthole at this point. We're just going to be really careful not to get it everywhere.
Almost stabbed a tube.
And then all the way up here is where I'm going to cut the tail off, and it just cuts right off. There we go. The oil gland is right here, so we cut off the tail and the oil gland. Now I'm going to take the water hose, rinse this out, stick it in the freezer, and I will do more cleaning up inside once they've gotten chilled. Okay. And here we are inside cleaning off the chicken. So each chicken I would bring inside, rinse on like underneath the sink, make sure it was good and clean, get any extra feathers, all of that good stuff. So I did notice there were some of the like little feather pieces that seemed to have broken off in the pores or whatever it's called for the bird, and they would just pop out, most of them, whenever I'd squeeze them like this, which was pretty satisfying. Really gross, but satisfying. So just something else extra that you could do when you're cleaning the birds to make sure you get all the little feather pieces out. And then here we are doing the bone broth. So I actually simmered, this was 7 carcasses that I simmered over like 12 to 14 hours. This bone broth looked amazing. I'm just straining it through this like fine mesh strainer. I didn't want to ruin my cheesecloth, and I feel like it would have ruined it to run this through because of like all the oils and everything. And it might look like there's a lot of meat left in there. I did part this chicken out, like all of these chickens. I parted them out, and what was left over I turned into bone broth. And then I am filling the jars. I'm going to wipe the rims and then pressure can them at 10 pounds of pressure for 25 minutes. So again, that was pressure canned at 10 pounds for my altitude for 25 minutes. So now that you have seen the chicken butchering and kind of some of what we did with the chickens, I want to go into the breakdown of what we actually got out of those chickens. And let me tell you, I don't have a cost as far as how much we have put into the chickens yet. I know it's around $400, like somewhere in that area. But we still have 29 more chickens to process here in the next few weeks. So the full like cost breakdown will not happen until after we process those chickens. But I do have a breakdown of what we got. I have to have notes because my brain. I figured out exactly how much of everything we got out of the first 28, what it would have cost for me to buy those things in the store, and I went based off of like the median cost because these were mostly grass, like they had a good amount of grass-fed chickens. They also had regular food. They were moved regularly, but they weren't totally free range, but they had no like antibiotics and all that stuff. So I feel like the cheapest chicken isn't adequate to like what these guys got, but they also weren't organically fed or anything like that. So I didn't go higher end either. I kind of went towards the middle or lower side of the price of chicken whenever I was doing these calculations, just to kind of give you an idea. I wasn't like saying, oh, I have completely organic, like whatever, blah 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 chicken, because I know that's not how I raise them. We gave them a lot of chick starter, unmedicated chick starter. They got a lot of grass. They got some like kitchen scraps and things, but mostly it was just like chicken food and grass. The next birds that we have are primarily getting grass with a little bit of food at night that I've been soaking in goat's milk and water. So they might take us a little longer to grow out, but they're going to be getting like a healthier diet, at least for these, like the last 4 weeks of their life. So I'm really curious to see if it changes things as far as like average weights and things like that. So our average weight for the 28 chickens we processed at 11 weeks old, moving them and keeping them on grass, keeping them moving every day, and we did not like hammer the food to them. I did fill up their feeders twice a day, but I didn't keep them full. Our average chicken size was about 6.5 pounds. The biggest one we got was 7 something, I believe. I don't think I have that paper out here. But yeah, just under 8 pounds was the biggest chicken that we did. And then let's see, we froze 14 of them whole. We actually ate one and froze 13, but so we 14 whole chickens, and then 14 of the chickens we processed out, like I parted out. I took the carcass and I turned that into bone broth. The bones that I could pull off of that carcass after I had done the whole bone broth process are in a bag in the freezer. Those are going to turn into bone meal, and I'm going to use that for the garden. So here in the next couple of weeks, I'll do that. The feet are all in a freezer bag in the freezer. I did not count those in my calculations because I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet. And then I do have all of the necks and all of the hearts in freezer bags as well. That's not calculated in here either. So this is just strictly on the bone broth, the whole chickens, and the parts of the chickens, okay? So we have whole chicken. We ended up with 80 pounds and 4 ounces of whole chicken. And then out of the 14 that I parted out, we have 9 pounds, 7 ounces of wings, 23 pounds, 3 ounces of breasts, 12 pounds, 7 ounces of legs, 13 pounds, 15 ounces of thighs, 5 pounds, 10 ounces of chicken tenders, which if you do not know, a chicken tender is actually a really special part of the chicken. And each chicken only has two teeny tiny little chicken tenders. I did not know that, but we are definitely savoring those chicken tenders because you don't get that many. And then I ended up with 19 quarts of bone broth. And y'all, that's a lot of bone broth, and it is really good bone broth. I let it simmer for like 12 to 14 hours. Really got all that good stuff. It is a beautiful color. Yeah, gorgeous. So I'm really excited. So after doing the math, all of this stuff would have cost us between $350 and $450, $500, somewhere around there, dollars at the grocery store to buy at the lower to middle cost of things. We have, I think, around $400, maybe a little more dollars put into chicken food. The chicks, we got really lucky. All of the chicks that we have gotten were free, so we did not put anything into that. So as of right now, these 28 chickens, like that's all we have into all of them, and we still have 29 chickens to process. So I feel like by the end of this, it's definitely going to have ended up being cheaper than the grocery store. it's real meat and better for us. And because I'm doing so much and trying to use every single part of the chicken, like it's just an all around good thing. So yeah, I'm really excited about the whole thing. And my experience and my like take on the whole thing is I would definitely do it again. We started kind of late in the day that we decided to do it. We had a lot of things go wrong that day. So we started kind of late in the day. There's like a squirrel. One of our cats is over there, and the squirrel is fussing at the cat. I can hear it. Anyways, so yeah, I would definitely do it again. I would just start in the morning. I didn't do that this time. And so we had to feed the chickens before processing them, which means their crops were full, which made processing them a little bit harder. But I would definitely do it again, just change that up. I am very, very pleased with what we did with everything. Keeping in mind, all of the cost of everything is not including the heads that our dogs ate, which were supposed to go to be treats, but they ate them all in one day. They also took all of my blood that I was saving for blood meal that I forgot to move the bucket in. And yeah, it was really late by the time we finished, and I completely forgot to just like put a lid on the bucket, and they ate all of my blood, which is really disgusting. But yeah. And then the pigs behind me got 3 buckets of guts and things that we weren't going to use. So that's a big savings. That was, you know, good for them. They got lots of good stuff. And then my laying hens got a whole bowl of the like leftover stuff from the broth that I couldn't pull out for bone meal. And then my garden is going to get bone meal. I've used all of the bloody water from like the ice chests in the garden, which is so good for the plants. The feathers are all over here in my compost pile behind me, so they're gonna just be something to add into the compost. So all in all, I feel like this was very much worth it. I feel like we've gotten a lot of use out of these first 28 birds, and I cannot wait to see what I end up being able to do with the second 29 birds, like the second set of birds, and how much meat and everything we get out of those. We will be parting out all 29 of those birds, so I won't be freezing any of them whole. I think 14 is enough whole chickens for us for a whole year. We don't eat a lot of whole chicken, so 14 is plenty. So the other ones, I'm really excited to see how much we get. I'm really excited to put more chicken tenders up. We actually cooked a bag of chicken tenders, y'all. So freaking good, I'm telling you, like freaking amazing. As far as the other parts, wings, I've never cooked wings. If you have a good wing recipe, drop it below, please. And for any other chicken parts, if you have good recipes, let me know what they are, because I need all the new recipes so that these kids eat some chicken this year, because we're gonna have lots of it. But all in all, I'm really happy we did this. I can't wait to do it again next year, and I think it's very much worth it. If you've been debating whether it's worth it or not, it is. It's definitely worth it. I do highly suggest finding someone with a chicken plucker to borrow or use, because it was a lifesaver. Like, it made things so much easier. So if you don't have one of those, see if you can find somebody locally that will let you borrow one, because it was a lifesaver. I am very grateful to our friends that let us borrow the chicken plucker and who are going to let us borrow it again. And yeah, I highly suggest raising your own meat, because the state of the meat in the grocery stores right now is absolutely insane. And this is just so much better. So if you guys have never processed chickens and you want to, if you have any other questions, drop those below. I'll make an updated video and answer your questions. If you have processed chickens and you notice something in this video that I did wrong, or that you have done differently in the past that you found worked better, let me know. I am happy to have tips and tricks and things like that. As long as we're keeping things kind. I love getting new advice and new tips and things to look at. So yeah, leave everything in the comments below. Let that be a wealth of knowledge for other people who maybe haven't done this. And I look forward to filming our next little processing day. And the next time I actually am going to do a video for you guys showing me process out the chicken. I didn't do that this time. It was late, like 2 a.m. by the time I finished on the day I was like parting them out, and I was exhausted, so I didn't do a video, but I will do a video next time. So you guys can see me doing all the parting out and everything, so you can see what it looks like to take a whole chicken and cut it up into the parts, because it's actually way easier than I thought it was going to be. Like, I was kind of nervous about that, and it was so freaking easy. Like, I'm really surprised that I've gone 32 years of life and didn't know it was that easy. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, for listening to me ramble on and on and on. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.